Hey, what's going on, friends? We are back. We're studying Daf Nun Ches today of Masech Berachos. Sorry. I'm more excited about today's Daf than I was about yesterday's Daf. We're done with all the dreams, which the dreams were fun at the beginning, but they got kind of overwhelming. I don't know, maybe it's also because I didn't get enough sleep the night before yesterday, but whatever it was, yesterday was a rough one for me. Anyways, today we're back with Daf Nun Ches. We're going to start on Daf, there aren't like too many halachas and stuff on this one. Let's just get right into it. But we're going to start on Daf Nun Zayin Amud Beis, and let's do it. So about like 10 or even 15 lines from the bottom of Nun Zayin Amud Beis, there's a 2 dots there that says Makom Shenekar Mimenu Avodah Zarah. So the Mishnah on Daf Nun Dalet had said that a place where Avodah Zarah was uprooted from, so you make the bracha of Baruch She'akar Avodah Zarah Mi'atzenu. Blessed is God who has uprooted Avodah Zarah from our land. So it says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught Hara Markulis. Okay, there's a certain Avodah Zarah that's called Markulis, and the way that you would perform this Avodah Zarah is you would basically throw stones. I don't remember exactly. I don't think it was like an idol that you would throw stones at. I think it was like some kind of like collection of stones or something like that, if I remember correctly, but I might not. But it's definitely a stone-oriented Avodah Zarah. So if you actually see Markulis, so in Omer Baruch Shnasan Erech Apayim Lo V'Ritzono, you say, blessed is God who has, long anger. He tolerates. He's a very tolerant God who allows things like this to go on without going crazy. Malcolm Shinekar Mimenu Avodah Zarah, if he sees a place where Avodah Zarah was uprooted from there, so Omer Baruch She'akar Avodah Zarah Mi'atzenu, blessed is God who has uprooted Avodah Zarah from our land, assuming that this is happening in Israel. And just like Avodah Zarah was uprooted from this place, so should Avodah Zarah be uprooted from all of the places in Israel. And may you return the hearts of those who are worshipping these Avodah Zarahs to serve you. But in Chutz La'aretz, you wouldn't say that last bit about returning the hearts of those who were worshipping the Avodah Zarah to serve you, because in Chutz La'aretz most of the people there are not Jewish, so therefore we don't need to have them serve you. That's more of like a Jewish kind of thing. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, so Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Af b'chutz la'aretz tzarich lomar kein mipnei shasidim l'sgayer. Very interesting. So Reb Shimon ben Elazar's opinion is that even in chutz la'aretz you would say that bit about returning the hearts of those who are worshiping the Avodah Zarahs to serve you, because in the future the non-Jewish people are going to convert to Judaism. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, Az epoch el amim saf avura, that then in the future I will create one language for everybody, and then the pasuk continues, Likro kulam b'shem Hashem, that they will all call out in God's name. Okay. Darash Rav Hamnuna darshan hara Bavel harisha tzarich levarich chamish brachos. Somebody who sees the evil Bavel, I guess the Bavel of Nebuchadnezzar, so he needs to bless 5 blessings. Ra Bavel Omer Baruch She'echriv Bavel, so harisha. So if he actually sees Bavel, or when he sees Bavel, so he makes the bracha of blessed is God who destroyed the evil Bavel. Ra Beisel Shen Nebuchadnezzar Omer Baruch She'echriv Beisel Shen Nebuchadnezzar. So if you see the destroyed house of Nebuchadnezzar, you say blessed is God who destroyed the house of Nebuchadnezzar. Harasha. Ra Gov Shel Arayos. If you see the lion's den that Daniel was thrown into, Okiv Shena Eish, or the fiery furnace that Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were thrown into, Omer Baruch Shasa Nisim Lavasinu B'makom Hazeh. So you say, blessed is God who did miracles for our fathers in this place. Ra Markulis. Or if you see Markulis over there, Omer Baruch Shanasan Erech Apayim Lo V'Ritzono, say, blessed is God who has a lot of tolerance for those who transgress as well. Ra Makom Shenot Limimenu Afar. If you see a place where they're taking from it dirt, I don't really get what this is. Apparently there was God cursed that there would be like some place in Bavel where it wouldn't be used for anything productive. They would just use it for dirt. So if you see that place where they're taking dirt from it, Omer Baruch Omer V'oseh Gozer Mekayim, blessed is God who says and does, decrees and fulfills his decrees. Rava, Kavachazi Chamre Deshakli Afra. So when Rava would see donkeys, and of course Rava lived in Bavel, so when he would see donkeys laden with dirt, Tariflu yada al gabayu, he would pat them on the back. Ve'amar, and he would say, Rahutu tzadike lemebad raivasat maraichu, run, righteous donkeys, to do the will of your owner, meaning because God said that these places were going to be full of dirt, and sure enough, these donkeys are carrying out the will of God, transporting this dirt from that place. Mar Brei Ravina, Kavamati Lebavel. So Mar Brei Ravina, when he would get to Bavel, I don't know from where, but when he would get to Bavel, or maybe like ancient Bavel was like maybe like the Bavel of like Horban Bayis Rishon was like a specific place in Bavel or something, but whatever it is, when he would get to this Bavel place, Havashakal Afra Besudre, he would take his handkerchief and he would take some dirt and he would kind of brush aside some dirt, Vishadi Levara, and he would throw it outside. L'kayim Mashnemer V'tetesia B'ma'atate Hashmed, that the pasuk in Yeshaya says about Bavel that, and I will sweep it with a broom of destruction. So he was metaphorically taking his handkerchief and sweeping it as if he was sweeping with a broom of destruction. Cool. Amar Rashi, Dr. Rashi, Ana had Rav Hamnuna lo shmiali. So Rashi says, oh wow, by the way, I never heard of this thing about Rav Hamnuna, about saying the 5 brachas. However, Elamida Toiba brichtinu lechulu. But just on my own, I came to the same conclusion and made those same 5 brachas. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, Zakte Heliker, Rabbi Yirmiyah ben Elazar, Niskal leBavel, Niskal l'Shchenea. When Bavel got cursed, all of its neighbors got cursed as well. Niskal l'Shomron, Nizbarchu Shchenea. When Shomron in Eretz Yisrael got cursed, unfortunately, because the Yidden weren't being good people, weren't being good. So while Shomron got cursed, its neighbors got blessed. Niskal leBavel, Niskal l'Shchenea. How do we know that when Bavel got cursed, its neighbors got cursed? Tichsev, as the pasuk says, V'samtia l'morash kipud ve'agme maim. It says that, the pasuk says that I will make Bavel into a place that is deserted and full of just like vultures and agme mayim, like swamps. So who wants to be near swamps? Like imagine you're a neighbor of Bavel, and then you get the word, yeah, Bavel's about to be destroyed and made into like desolate vultures and swampland. Like that's not so geschmack. Like those things, you don't want those things around. Niskala Shomron is Baruch Shchenea. However, when Shomron got cursed, its neighbors got blessed. How? It says, I'm going to turn Shomron into a mound of dirt in the field, the Matoi Karim Vigomer, and into vineyards, like places to plant vineyards. So meaning when Shomron got destroyed, so its land became very arable and places to plant vineyards and things like that. So basically they got destroyed and replaced with great fields. So neighbors kind of like that stuff. Somebody who sees lots of many Yidden together. Omer Baruch Chacham Arazim. Blessed is God who knows all of their secrets. If you see large crowds of the nations of the world, Omer Bosha Imchem Vigomer, your mother is embarrassed. Okay, now I don't know if that means just any time that non-Jewish people get together, you have to say, your mother is embarrassed of you, but there definitely have historically been great gatherings of non-Jews that were not good. They were not good for us. Taner Rabbanan, the Rabbi Stara bro, Ochlusa Yisrael Omer, somebody who sees great numbers, great multitudes of Israel, he says, Baruch Chacham Arazim, blessed is he who knows all of their secrets, Shein Daitam Domez Elazeh, that, there are all these people and yet every single person's knowledge is different than the next. And they all have unique faces. Benzoma was standing on a stair in Har Habayis, and he saw a large gathering of Yidden. Amar, he said, Baruch Chacham Arazim, blessed is God who knows all of their secrets. Uvaruch shabarak kol elu l'shamsheni. And this is very interesting, right? And he says, and blessed is God who created all of these people to serve me. What does it mean to serve me? So Huaya Omer, Ben Zoma would say, Kami Yigios Yaga Adam Arishon ad shematza pas lecho, right? Adam Arishon was the only person who existed at the time. When he was hungry and he wanted to eat bread, he didn't have anybody to make it for him. He was the only person who existed. Charash, he had to plow a field. Vizara, plant a seed. Vikatsa, he would then have to harvest it. V'amar, he would bundle the wheat. Vidash, he would thresh it. Vizara, he would winnow it. Uvirer, he would then select the parts that he wants. V'tachan, he would then grind up the wheat kernels. V'hirkid, he would sift them. V'lash, he would knead them. V'afa, and then he would bake it. V'achakach acha, and then he would eat. V'ani, but I, mashkim u'motze kol elim sukan l'fanai. I just wake up, I go to my bread basket, and I eat bread, because there are bakers. There are people who bake bread, and therefore they help me, and I don't have to do all of these things. Adam Rishon wanted to wear clothing. There's nobody to make clothing for him. He has to make it himself. So Gazaz, he first went to sheep and he had to shear the wool, v'liben, and then he would wash it, v'nipetz, and he would comb it, v'tave, and he would wind it into threads, v'arag, and he would weave the threads, v'tafar, and he would sew the threads, v'achakach motzabeged lilbosh. Only then you would have clothing to wear. And obviously it was like this with every single thing that Adam Rishon wanted. There was nobody to do anything. Right? I wake up and I find, I have plenty of clothing to wear. If I want something new, I could just go to the store and buy something new. All different professions, all different, professionals, workers, they are waking up early and coming to my door, and I find all of these things ready. So Rashi points out that Ben Zoma was also very wealthy, so he would do business with all these people. But even aside from that, meaning Ben Zoma would see all these people and he would say, how amazing is it that we have all of these people to contribute to the world. Adam Rishon didn't have other people contributing; he had to do everything himself. We have everything that we need. Whatever it might be. Right? We want to buy bread, we go to the bakery. Even the bakers, they have people harvesting the wheat for them, right? And even them, they have, John Deere making tractors, said that, we have so many people in this world, and everyone is contributing to the world, to basically make life, easier for everybody else. Huaya Omer, Ben Zoma would say, Oreach Tov Ma'u Omer. What does a good guest say? Kamatarchos tarach balabayis b'shvili. Wow, this host, I really appreciate all the work that this host did for me. Kamabasa heavy lefanai. Wow, look at all the meat that he brought in front of me. Right? Even think about that. Right? We have people to slaughter meat for us. Right? We don't even need to slaughter meat. We just go to the store and buy it. It's as if it didn't even come from an animal. Kamayayin heavy lefanai. Right? All this wine that he brought in front of me. Kamagluskos heavy lefanai. How much bread he brought in front of me. And all that he did for me. What does a bad guest say? Come on, I'm not really inconveniencing him that much. Come on, I just ate a little bit of bread. Just one, piece. I just drank one glass of wine. He was making all this food anyways for his wife and his kids. I just kind of showed up. Come on, I didn't really inconvenience him that much. It's not really a big deal for him. What does it say about a good guest? Right? Remember, right? He's basically remembering how this host did so much effort. Meaning, the pasuk says, remember all of his great efforts that the people see. So basically, this guest is recognizing all the great effort that the host did for him. If it says about a bad guest, and the pasuk then says, Lo yira kochach melev, right? That God doesn't see all of the great people in the context of that nevuah. But over here, this guest is not seeing all the, great and hard work that his host did for him. And this man, this is referring to David Melech's father Yishai. During the days of Shaul, he was very old. Amar Rav, and it says Baba Anashim, he would come with men. So what does it mean? Amar Rava v'item Rav Zvid v'item Rav Oshaya ze Yishai Avi David. This is Yishai, David Melech's father. Sheyatza bo chlusya v'nichnas bo chlusya v'darish bo chlusya. That he would go out with the whole band of people. He would come in with the whole band of people, and when he would give Torah shares, a whole band of people would listen to them. Amar Ula, said Ula, Nikitinan eno chlusa b'Bavel. We say that there is no great crowds in Bavel. Tana eno chlusa mishishim ribo. How much is a great crowd? 600,000 people. So Ula says that there is no great crowds of this magnitude in Bavel, or maybe what he's saying is that even if there was, it wouldn't be considered no chlusa, and you wouldn't make that bracha of chacham arazim. Interesting. Tana Rabbanan Aruach Chachmei Yisrael. Somebody who sees Jewish scholars. Omer Baruch shechalak mechachmaso l'rev. Blessed is God who shared from his wisdom to those who fear him. Chachmei u'mos ha'olam omer baruch shenasan mechachmaso levasav adam. If he sees wise non-Jewish people, so he says, blessed is God who gave from his wisdom to flesh and blood. Haroah Malchi Yisrael, somebody who sees Jewish kings, Omer Baruch Shechalak Mikvodo L'Rev, blessed is God who shared his honor with those who fear him. Malchi Umos Ha'olam, non-Jewish kings, Omer Baruch Shenasu Mikvodo Levasav Adam, blessed is God who gave from his honor to flesh and blood. Amr Rabbi Yochanan, Zok the Helik Rabbi Yochanan, L'olam Yishtal Adam Loritz L'Kras Malchi Yisrael. A person should always try to run towards Jewish kings. V'lo L'Kras Malchi Yisrael B'vad, not only towards Jewish kings. I believe this is the third time that we're seeing this saying in this Gemara, in Berachos. You should even run towards non-Jewish kings, Shem Yizke, that if he merits to be in the world to come, to see the King of Mashiach, the Melech HaMashiach, Yavchin ben Malchi Yisrael Malchi Umos Ha'olam, you'll be able to see the qualitative difference between what a Jewish king looks like versus a non-Jewish king. Rav Sheshes Saginor Hava. Rav Sheshes was blind. Havu ka'azle kule alma lekabule ape malka v'kam azo badai Rav Sheshes. So everyone was going to greet the king. I assume that it was a non-Jewish king, so Rav Sheshes was in Bavel. So I assume we're talking about the Babylonian king. And Rav Sheshes went together with everybody else, even though he was blind. Ashkech Ehud Tziduki. So a certain Tziduki found Rav Sheshes over there with the crowd of people who went to see the king. Amrle chatzve l'nahara kagne laya. So the Tziduki said to Rav Sheshes, I understand that pitchers that are in good shape, that don't have any cracks, that are whole, they go to the river so you can fill them up. But pitchers that have cracks in them and are deficient, why would you take them to the river? Where do you take them? And therefore, he was basically saying, Rav Sheshes, I understand why people who can see will go to see the king. Why are you going to see the king? You can't see him. Amrle, Rav Sheshes responded to this Tziduki, Tachazi tiyadayna tfei minach. Come and see that I know more than you know. Now, interesting that it's talking about Tzidukim. I always thought Tzidukim was like during the second bias, right? The Prushim and the Tzidukim. But I didn't realize that they were also in Bavel. But I did notice that the Sefaria actually changes Tzidukim to Minim, in which case it's talking about early Christians. But I don't have any kind of note over here with that would indicate that different girsa. So I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. Anyways, so if Shesha says to this Tziduki, I'll say Tziduki because that's the girsa I have. So if Shesha says to this Tziduki, look, you'll see, even though I'm blind, I happen to know a lot more than you. Chalav Gunda Kamaisa, the first group of like the king's attendants came by, Kika Avsha, and when everybody was making noise because they were excited that the king was coming, Amrle Ahu Tziduki, also Malka. So the Tziduki said, oh, the king is coming. Amrle Rav Sheshes Lo Kasi. Rav Sheshes says, no, he's not coming. Chalav Gunda Tinyana. A second group of the king's people came. Kika Avsha, Amr Le'ahu Tziduki, Hashtaka Asi Malka. And then when everybody was making all this noise, the Tziduki said, okay, fine, now the king is coming. Amr Le Rav Sheshes Lo Ka'asi Malka. Sheshes says, no, the king isn't coming. Chalaf Tlisai, Kika Shaska, Amr Le Rav Sheshes Vade Hashta Asi Malka. And then when the third group came by, everybody was quiet, probably because they assumed that the first two times the king didn't come. And Rav Sheshes says, okay, now the king is coming. Amr Le Tziduki Minalacha. The Tziduki said, how do you know this? So Amr Le, the Malchus Da'arak and Malchus Derkiya. So Rav Sheshes says, because the kingdoms of this world, of this earth, reflect, are like the kingdom of the heaven. And it says about the kingdom of the heaven, it says about God, so an angel says to Eliyahu Hanavi, go and stand on the mountain before God, and God will pass. And a great wind that would uproot mountains and break rocks passed before God. Lo v'ruach Hashem. And the angel said, yeah, this great wind, God is not in this great wind. And then after the wind came a great noise. Lo v'rash Hashem. And the angel said, yeah, but in this great noise is not God. Then after the noise came a great fire. Lo v'esh Hashem. And the angel said that God is not coming in this fire. And then after the fire, called Dmama Daka, was a very weak and thin voice. And that was where God came. So Rav Sheshes knew that if that is the description of God coming in a weak and thin voice, or a very low and thin voice, so then also when the regular king, when the king of flesh and blood is coming, it must be only when things are quiet down. Ki asa malka pasuk Rav Sheshes v'kam mevarich le. When the king came, Rav Sheshes then made a bracha for the king, probably shenasan mikvodo livas v'dam, probably. Amar le'ahu tziduki. So the tziduki said to Rav Sheshes, lemandelo chazis le kam mevarachas. You're making a bracha to somebody you can't even see. That is the end of that story. Umay have ale dahu tziduki. And what ended up happening with this nudnik tziduki from the story? So yikadam chavroi kachlinhu le'ened. Those who say that his friends gorged out his eyes. Okay. Those who say Rav Sheshes nasan enavo v'naisis gal shalatzamos. Those who say that Rav Sheshes gave him a stare and made him into a pile of bones. That was the end of that tziduki. Either way, he didn't fear too good. Fear? Did I say fear? Fair. Didn't fare too good. Rabbi Shila nagdi lahu gavra, the Baal Goya, oivei. So Rabbi Shila was giving malchus, he was giving lashes to a certain person because he slept with a non-Jewish woman. Azal achal be kurtze be malchus. And this Jew did not appreciate the lashes that he received from Rabbi Shila, so he went to tell on him to the local authorities. Amar ika chadgava biudai dekadayan dina below harmona de malka. And he said, there's a certain Jew who is judging without the permission of the king. Shadar ale pristika. And so the king sent out some officers to go look into the incident. Kiasa, when these officers came, Amrle, they said to Rabbi Shila, Ma taima nagdate l'hai, how come you were giving lashes to this individual? Amarlu, he said to them, Debal chamarta, well, because he slept with a female donkey. Amrle, they said to him, Islach Sadeh. So he said to Rabbi Shila, well, do you have witnesses that this happened? Amalu in. He says, yeah, of course I have witnesses. Asa Eliyahu idme le'ki'inish ve'asid. So Eliyahu Hanavi showed up. He looked like a person, and he testified that this fellow slept with a female donkey. Amrle. So these officers said to Rabbi Shila, Ihachi, if this is the case, Barktalu. Okay, well, then we got to kill this fellow. Amrlu anan miyoma degalina me'arin leislan reshusa demiktal. Atun ma'ide be'ison avidu be. So Rabbi Shila said, look, once, when we got exiled from our land, so we no longer have permission to perform capital punishment. However, you guys do whatever you want with this fellow. So now while these officers were deliberating whether they should execute this bloke, so then Rabbi Shila said the following pasuk: to you God is the greatness and the might, etc. So these officers said to Rabbi Shila, Maika Amart, what are you saying? Rabbi Shila said to them, Hachi Kamina, this is what I'm saying. Blessed is God who has made the kingship of the land reflect the kingship of the heavens. And they have given you the power, and you do, good, merciful judgment. Well, I guess not merciful for this guy who's about to get killed, but so Amru, they said, wow, Chaviva Ale Yikar de Malchusa, and these officers were very impressed by Rabbi Shila. He was a real charmer, I guess. And they said, wow, he really loves it. And they said, this Rabbi Shila guy really loves our king. Kule Hai, Yavule Kupa. So they gave him a stick. Amrule Don Dina, and they said, you can judge whatever judgments you want and beat up whoever you want. Kiavanofik, and then I think when Rabbi Shila was leaving, Amrule Ugavra, this fellow who was in a pretty precarious situation, said to Rabbi Shila, Avid Rahman Anisa L'Shakre. He said to Rabbi Shila, wow, God did a miracle for a bunch of liars. Amarle, Rasha Lav Chamre Ikru, right? So then Rabbi Shila said to this fellow, what? Are they, meaning the non-Jews, are they not called donkeys? Dichsiv, as the pasuk says, Asher B'sar Chamorim B'saram. So the pasuk in Yechezkel, I believe, is describing how is making an analogy to the Jews going after Avodah Zarah to like a prostitute who's just sleeping with anybody she could find, and comparing the non-Jewish people to donkeys. Okay. So that was Rabbi Shila's defense for why he called this non-Jewish woman a donkey. So Chaze dekazil lememra hu dekarinu chamre, and Rabbi Shila saw that this fellow was about to tell these officers that he called them donkeys, basically, asher b'sarim b'sar chamorim b'sarim, right? That their flesh is that of donkeys. So Amar, Rabbi Shila said, I'm about to get in big trouble myself. So he said, Hi Rodefu, this guy is essentially going to get me killed, therefore he's a Rodef. A Rodef is somebody who's chasing after you to kill you, right? If somebody's chasing after you with a knife to kill you, you're allowed to kill this person. Right? The Torah says, if somebody's going to kill you, you can kill them. And therefore this guy is basically going to get me killed. So he took his fancy new stick that was presented to him by these officers, and he killed the bugger. Amar hol v'savidli nisa b'haikra darishna lei. And then he said, well, since this pasuk of l'chashem agdula v'gvura was responsible for a miracle happening to me, so I will expound it. So l'chashem agdula zomaise Berachos. When he says, to you God is the greatness, that is the creation of, the act of Berachos, of creating the world. And similarly it says, Ose gedolos arin cheker, that he does great things that cannot be measured. And I guess that seems to be referring to Maaseh Berachos. V'agvura, zo Yitzias Mitzrayim. When it says gevura, might, that's referring to Yitzias Mitzrayim. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, Vayar Yisrael siyara gedola v'gomer, that God saw the the Yidden saw the great hand of God, and they feared him. And maybe because gevura is kind of like fear and might, and that happened by Yitzias Mitzrayim. V'atiferes zochamu levana she'amdu lo Yoshua, and Tiferes is the sun and the moon that stood for Joshua after we mentioned the Avnei El Gobish the other day, those stones that rained down on the Morim when they went to attack the Givonim. So right after that, it says that the sun and the moon stopped so that Yoshua could continue killing those fellows. Shenemar vayidom hashemesh v'areach amad v'gomer, that the sun and the moon stopped, and I guess somehow that's compared to Tiferes. I'm not sure why. V'anetzach zo mapalas shel Romi. Netzach refers to the downfall of Rome. V'chinu omer, it says v'yez nitzcham al bigadai v'gomer, that God says that their blood will splatter on my clothing. And actually that pasuk says, pasuk mem, right? So it says pura darachti levadi umayamim ein ish iti. So pura there means a wine press, and we're soon coming to Purim. Purim, we drink a lot of wine, so I always found that it was interesting that Purim actually, in a sense, means wine presses. Interesting. Okay. Hod seems to be referring to another story that we learned at the beginning of the parak on that same daf, with those two valleys that kind of squished with the canyon that squished together and squished all those Amorim. Well, these Amorim are really not faring well between stones falling out of the sky and canyons squishing them. Wow. Fine, there was that pasuk that somehow is connected to Hod. That God is in the heavens and the earth. Sisra. This is a reference to the war of Sisra. It says, from the heavens, the stars fought from their paths. Okay. When it says, to you God is the kingship, that is the fight of Amalek. And it says, Kiyad al Kes Ka, that the hand is on the throne of God, so that I guess is kingship. V'misnase, so Mechemes Gog u'Magog, and Misnase is a reference to the wars of Gog and Magog. V'cheinu Omer, and similarly it says, Hinni elecha Gog nisi rosh meshech v'suval. I am upon you, Gog, the nisi, which is like Misnase, the head of meshech v'tuval. Okay, l'chol l'rosh. What's the Chol Rosh? Amar Rav Chanan by Rava. Amar Rabbi Yochanan afilu reish gargisa min shmaya manule. That's interesting. Even somebody who's in charge of some people who are digging a pit, he has been appointed from God. Interesting, right? You have a few people building an irrigation ditch. Not exactly, pretty standard thing. And yet, even that person who's in charge of that standard job has been appointed from God. B'masnisatana. We learn in Hebraisa, Mishmed Rabbi Akiva, L'chashem Agdula Zo Kriyas Yamsuf, that when it says, to you God is the greatness, that's a reference to Kriyas Yamsuf. Ve'agvura Zo Makas Bechoros, Ve'atiferes Zo Matan Torah, Ve'anetzach Zo Yerushalayim, Ve'ahod Zo Beis HaMikdash. Okay, Tanur Rabbanan, the rabbis taught. Hara bata Yisrael b'yishuvan, somebody who sees the houses of Israel when they are dwelt in. And Rashi, interesting, says, Kigon b'yishuv b'yisheni. For example, when the Yidden came back to live in Eretz Yisrael during the Second Temple. Now, Rashi was living in wherever it was, Spain or Germany, or France. I think France or Germany or something. Maybe it was France, now it's Germany. I don't know. Anyways, so nobody had lived in Eretz Yisrael since basically everybody had left Israel. But I wonder, he's referring to when they came back to live in Israel during the Second Temple. I wonder what he would say about us who are living in Israel once again, because when he wrote that, nobody had really been living in Israel. So the Second Temple was really the last time anybody was living in Israel. So maybe you'd be able to say this blessing now, right? Aroi bata Yisrael b'yishuvam, when you see the houses of Israel in their being settled. So Omer Baruch Matziv Gvul Amana, blessed is God who establishes the boundaries of the widow. Bechorbanan, when he sees the houses of Israel when they have been destroyed, Omer Baruch Taina Emes, blessed is God, the judge of truth. Bate of the Kocham b'yishuvan, if he sees the houses of idol worshippers when they are settled, Omer Beis Geim Yisach Hashem, the house of those who are haughty, God will destroy. Bechorbanan, if he sees the houses of idol worshippers when they're destroyed, Omer Kel Nakamos Hashem, Kel Nakamos Sophia, God is a God of vengeance, and this God of vengeance will show himself. Ula vit Rav Chisda Abu Kaazle be'orcha. Interesting. So this is going to be a pretty interesting story about Ula and Rav Chisda. I thought it was interesting anyways. So Ula and Rav Chisda were traveling. Now Kimatu Apischa Deve Rav Chana Bar Chanilai. When they got to the place where the house of Rav Chana Bar Chanilai once stood, Nagad Rav Chisda va'asnach, Rav Chisda gave out a cry, a krechts. So Amar le Ula, Amai kamasnachas. So Ula said to Rav Chisda, why are you krechtzing? Doesn't Rav say, after all, that krechtzing is bad for you? It breaks half of your body. There's a pasuk in Yechezkel, it says, give a krechts that'll break your loins, and I guess your loins are halfway through your body, so half of your body. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, afilu af kol gufo shel adam. Rabbi Yochanan says actually a good krecht can even destroy your entire body. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, vaya ki yomu elecha hamoa tamet nenach. Right, that the next pasuk there in Yechezkel is that, and if they will tell you, what's all this krechtzing about? So ve'amar, and you will say, el shmua kiva'ah, because the tidings have come. V'names kol lev v'gomer, and it says there that everyone's heart is going to melt, and their hands will become weak, and their spirit will go away, and their knees will give forth. Right, basically their whole body is going to fall apart. So Rav Chisda was like, kind of losing it when he saw where the house of Rav Chana Bar Chanilai once stood. Ula was like, why are you krechtzing? Isn't it bad for you? So Amrle, Heichi lo asnach. So Rav Chisda said, how can I not krechts? Right, a house that had 60 bakers during the day and 60 bakers at night employed there. And they would bake, they would cook for anybody who needed food. And Rav Chana Bar Chanilai would never remove his hand from his pocket where he had his money. The Savar Dilma Asi Ani Bar Tuvim Adamatu Lechisa, because he was concerned that maybe a poor person who came from a good family is going to be in a predicament where he needs money, but the amount of time that it'll take me to get my hand into my pocket to take out a coin to give him, he will be embarrassed. So he would just always keep his hand in his pocket so that he can immediately and quickly and sort of without anybody noticing give people who need money. Visu havu psichin le arba bave le arba ruchasa de alma, and more so, his house, the doors of his house were open to the four directions of the world. V'chol dehava ayil kefin nofik kisava, and anybody who would go into his house hungry would leave his house satisfied. Vavushadu le chite v'sari b'shnei batzores, and in years of famine they would throw outside wheat and barley. So that anybody who is too embarrassed to have to come during the daytime to collect wheat, he would be able to come at night, and there would be plenty of wheat and barley outside so that he could collect them. And this house of amazing Gemilas Chasadim and all that went on there, it's now destroyed. How can I not give a krechts? How can I not lament? Amar le. So Ula still didn't get it. He's like, yeah, but Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, Miyom shechar beis hamikdash nigzru gezerah al batein shel tzadikim sheicharvu. Right, that from the time that the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, a decree was decreed that the houses of the tzaddikim will be destroyed. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, be'oznei Hashem tzvakos, that God basically made a shvua, a swear, im lo batim rabim l'shama yiyu, that many houses will be destroyed. Gidolim v'tovim me'en yoshev, and these big and great houses will not have anybody dwelling in them. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan said, Asar HaKadosh Baruch Hu lachziron liyishuvan, that in the future God will return them to being dwelt in. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, She'amal David habotchim b'Hashem ki'artzion, right? That those who believe in God are like the mountain of Tzion. Mahar Tzion Asar HaKadosh Baruch Hu lachziro, just like God in the future is going to return the mountain of Tzion liyeshuva, to being inhabited. Af baten shel tzadikim Asar HaKadosh Baruch Hu lachziro liyeshuvan. Also, the houses of the righteous in the future, God will have them be inhabited once again. So basically, Ula did not understand why Rav Chisda was like lamenting about what happened to the house of Rav Chana bar Chanilai. After all, this was meant to be, right? God was just going to, the houses of the tzaddikim were going to get destroyed. So Chazi delo miyash vadaite, and still Ula saw that Rav Chisda was not, overcome, was not won over by his thoughts, by his theories. So he said one last thing to Rav Chisda, which is, well, you know what? The servants should at least be like their masters, right? If God, his Beis Hamikdash is still destroyed, and that's that, well, it makes sense that the house of Rav Chana bar Chanilai, this tzaddik, would also be destroyed, and that's just the way it goes. It's so interesting, right? Because, it's the second incident that we've seen recently where, like, somebody is, like, saying something that just, like, I don't know, kind of makes sense, just kind of like go with the flow, and Ula just could not go with the flow because there was something bugging him on his mind, right? We had that with Rav Nachman and Yalta, right? Rav Nachman said, hey, just give the kosher bracha to my wife Yalta, and Ula but I don't get it. What do you mean? The pribidno shel ish is only blessed by the pribidna shel isha is only blessed by the pribidno shel ish. Like he couldn't make amends with the fact that Rav Nachman was asking to do something, and it didn't make sense with this theory that he had, right? And in the end, the whole wine cellar was destroyed. Here also, like, Rav Chisda is seeing this house where clearly, it's emotional for him, and all this stuff went on over there. Now it's destroyed, and, he was sad about it. And Ula's just like, what do you mean? I don't get it. But Rav Yochanan said it's going to happen. And if God's Beis Hamikdash is destroyed, of course it, like, he didn't get, I guess, certain sort of social cues, which is interesting to note about Ula's personality, perhaps. Taner Rabbanan, the Rabbi Stada, Kivrei Yisrael. Somebody sees the graves of Israel. I guess maybe like a Jewish cemetery or something. Omer, he says, Baruch Asher Yatzar Eschem Badin, blessed is God who created you in judgment, V'zan Eschem Badin, and nourished you in judgment, V'chilkal Eschem Badin, and gave you food in judgment, V'asaf Eschem Badin, and he gathered you back, I guess, to die in judgment, V'asid La'akimchem Badin, and in the future he will bring you back to life in judgment. Marbre Deravina, Messiah, Ba Mishmei Rav Nachman. Marbre Deravina would then conclude this in the name of Rav Nachman. He knows the number of all of you, and in the future he's going to bring you to life. Baruch Mechai Amesim, blessed is God who brings to life the dead. If you see a cemetery of idol worshippers, you say, your mother is embarrassed by you. Okay. Amar B'Shua ben Levi, Dr. B'Shua ben Levi, Hara es chavero la'achar shloshim yom, Omer Baruch shechianu v'kimanu v'giyanu lezman hazeh. Somebody who sees somebody who has not seen in 30 days, you say shechianu la'achar shnemasar chodesh. If you haven't seen your friend for a whole year, for 12 months, Omer Baruch Mechai Amesim, say, blessed is God who brings back the dead to life. Amar Rav, Ein Ames mishtakeach min alev el la'achar shnemasar chodesh. Rab says that it takes 12 months for somebody who passed away to be forgotten from the heart. Shenemar, as it says, Nishkachti kimes milev hayisi kichli oved. I've been forgotten like a dead person is forgotten from the heart. I was like a lost object. And the Gemara in Bava Metzia says that a lost object, the owner gives up hope after 12 months. So here also we're saying that a mace is forgotten from the heart after 12 months. Rav Papa, Rav Huna Ber Rav Yoshua, Habuka Azli Baruch. So Rav Papa, if you remember from yesterday, so Rav Papa became the Rosh Yeshiva, and Rav Huna Ber Rav Yoshua was the Reish, what was it called? the Reish, it wasn't the Reish Kala, but it was the Rosh Yeshiva, okay, and there was Rosh Livnei Kala. He was the Rosh Livnei Kala, based on their dreams. Okay, very good. Anyway, so they were walking together. And they bumped into Rav Chanina bre Ravika. Okay, Amrule, and they said to him, wow, that when we saw you, we made a bracha on you, tarte, 2 brachas, so blessed is God who shared with his wisdom to those who fear him, because you're a big Talmud Chacham, and also Shechanu, because I guess they hadn't seen him in 30 days. Amrlehu, Rav Chanina bre Ravika said to them, Ananami, me too. Came the Chazat Tinchu, when I saw you two, Chashav Tinchu ilavai kashisin rabavan, right? You both together in my eyes were as important as 60,000 people, right? Kashisin rabavan beis Yisrael, as 60,000 Jews. Uvarichna alaychu tlasa, and I actually made 3 brachas when I saw you guys coming. Hanach tarti, the 2 that you blessed, right? Shechalak mechachmas le'rev and shechianu. Uvar chacham arazim, and also blessed is God who knows everybody's secrets. Amrule chakimas kulehai. So Rav Papa and Rav Huna bre Rav Yehoshua said, oh yeah, you think you're so smart? Yave be'enayu v'shachiv. They stared at him and he died. Well, things deteriorated pretty quickly over there. They went from 1 second giving him blessings for being such a great Talmud Chacham to killing him because he made an extra bracha. Well, that's pretty interesting, right? Okay. Rabbi Shimon Levi says, somebody who sees people who are spotted. Baruch Mishan Abrios, blessed is God who makes interesting creations. Meisve, but 1 second, we have a question on that. Ra es akushi. If somebody sees somebody who is unusually black, ves agichor, somebody who is unusually red, ves halavkon, somebody who is unusually white, ves hakiper, somebody who is unusually tall, ves hananas, somebody who is unusually short, ves hadarnikus, and somebody who has lots of warts. Amar Baruch Mashan Abios. In those cases, he says, blessed is God who makes interesting creations. As hakiteya, however, if he sees somebody who is an amputee, ves asuma, somebody who is blind, ves pisuye arosh, somebody with a flat head, ves achiger, somebody who is lame, ves amukashchin, somebody who has boils, ves abahakonim, somebody who is spotted, Omer Baruch Ta'ina Emes, blessed is God who is the judge of truth. So 1 second, why did Rabbi Shimon Levi say that somebody who is spotted, you say Mishan Abrios, whereas the Brisa says that you say Baruch Ta'ina Emes lo kasha, it's no problem, hamimei imo habasa de islid. If he was born spotted, so then you say Baruch of Mishan Abrios. If he got these spots afterwards, so then you say the bracha of Baruch Ta'ina Emes. Okay, and you can also infer this from the fact that in that brisa, the spotted person is listed together with somebody like an amputee, which by definition that happens. An amputee means somebody else chopped off your limbs, so that only happens once you're born. Somebody sees a elephant and a monkey or a vulture, so he says, blessed is God who makes interesting creations. Brios tovos, vilanus tovos. If a person sees beautiful or very good creations and very good trees, blessed is God that these things exist in His world. Shkoyach, everybody. It's a big page today, but I thought that there was some interesting, fun little things in there, different brachos that we make upon different events. Some interesting stories with Rav Sheshes over there. Rav Chisda and Ula I thought was very interesting. And right, also the thing about Ben Zoma saying how everybody is there to serve me, right? How everybody sort of plays a role in contributing to everybody else's prosperity and being able to live easier lives. That was also very interesting. So lots of interesting little nuggets today. And I hope you guys have a really interesting way in the day in the best possible way. Peace out.